evening and welcome to ABC 31 News Tonight. I'm Scott Beadle. A teenager is dead from a crash-in last night in St. Landry Parish. State police say a 16-year-old Adrian Johnson from Washington was on Highway 363 when he struck a cow. His vehicle then crossed over the other line and hit a culvert. He was not wearing a seatbelt. Services for Rose Landry Long, the wife of State Senator Gerald Long, a prominent civic leader, will be at Prather Coliseum in Natchitoches on Thursday morning at 10 o'clock. The 69-year-old died Sunday after an extended battle with brain cancer. She was nationally recognized for her volunteer work with Louisiana Public Broadcasting. And she was also a leader in her church, First Baptist in Natchitoches. She is survived by her husband, 3 children, and their families. Natchitoches agents arrest a married couple on drug charges. They are 34-year-old Jennifer and 35-year-old Mitchell Byen of Roy Drive. Agents say he's charged with possessing meth, synthetic marijuana, ecstasy, and opioids. She's accused of obstruction of justice. We enjoyed another nice day, but change might be coming. Meteorologist Ross Whitley is here with your weather now.
That's right. Today's weather, hard to beat. A little more humid than yesterday, so a little less of a nice day than what we saw yesterday. Temperatures warming up to around 86 degrees, just a couple degrees above normal for this time of year, and not anywhere close to the 92 set back in 1947. But of course, things are going to change. Can't always keep the nice weather around. We're going to be talking about possibility of severe storms, and yes, we could even see some flooding issues. I'll have more on that in just a little bit. Scott?
Thanks, Ross. A state House committee has advanced a bill to create a constitutional convention, the first since 1972. However, they're warned the bill could be fraught with politics because it might coincide with statewide elections, including the race for governor. There has been talk of a new convention for some time, especially to deal with finances. Large groups of opponents and supporters of a Confederate monument clashed at the statue in New Orleans last night. A large group of supporters gathered at the Jefferson Davis Monument, and opponents showed up in response. New Orleans police moved in to control the crowd. That monument is one of several Confederate monuments the city plans to remove. Jill Kidder, the president of the Louisiana Travel Promotion Association, was the keynote speaker at today's Rotary Club meeting. She spoke to the club about tourism in the state.
Tourism produces about $1 billion in state tax revenue every year from visitation to our state. Last year we had 46.7 million visitors, and they spent $16.8 billion in our state. The number of visitors is up significantly, almost 3% over last year.
Some of the things that draw visitors to Louisiana include culture, food, music, and recreation. To learn more about the Louisiana Travel Promotion Association, you can visit their websites. May activities in Voiles Parish offer something for just about everyone. They're always willing to provide you with more information to plan the trip.
We started off with the Cajun Crossroads Festival in Hesmer on May 6th and 7th. Lots of opportunities for the children, for the young at heart, because there's an adult T-ball tournament. So that's a lot of wonderful opportunities to come for fun. Also, a first-time event, an Avoyles Author Showcase, sponsored by the Avoyles Parish Library, the Marksville branch. That is going to be on May 6th. We have 6 or 7, possibly 10 authors that are going to be there. They're either from Avoyles or they write about Avoyles.
You can always go to their website if you have questions or to view a list of events. The Little Walter Music Festival Planning Committee celebrated Little Walter's birthday today and reflected on memories and the history of the late great legend as they blew out candles on an ice cream birthday cake. The big celebration will be at the legendary Buddy Guys Legends Chicago in Illinois. A new trend is sweeping across college campuses throughout the nation, and it involves some furry friends. ABC 31's Joanna Phillips has the story.
For college students, finals week can be the most difficult time of the semester, and finding ways to de-stress may not be so easy. Therapy dog programs for stress relief are increasing in libraries and college campuses across the country. Louisiana College hosted a 2-day event called Bubbles and Puppies.
This type of event, having service animals, therapy dogs come on campuses, is really a growing trend in academics, and so we wanted to make sure that we were offering that same type of service that students would expect at other institutions here locally for them to take advantage of.
The school connected with Labrador Retrievers by Catahoula Duck Club.
Our dogs are bred according to temperament. Looks, of course, is a part of it, but temperament is the most important part of it, their trainability, and every dog has a different personality. And we bring our therapy dogs out, which has the very calm, gentle side of them, which is very relaxing. When the students pet them, it's really hard to resist petting a puppy, and that has been more help for the students in just dealing with the stresses of finals.
Students raced out of final exams to come enjoy time with the dogs, and some couldn't resist having study sessions with them close by.
It's been so much fun to have them just like in between tests, getting to run by love on a puppy for a little bit. It helps a lot.
The overall purpose of therapy dogs is to promote relaxation and reduce stress. Joanna Phillips, ABC 31 News.
A piece of Spanish history is docked in downtown Baton Rouge. A replica of a 16th century Spanish galleon is docked alongside the USS Kidd. The ship was known as the Workhorse during the Age of Discovery.
Bring your kids, they can learn a lot about the history of sailing ships and the Spanish Empire in the Western Hemisphere, and including the fact that during the later period, we were once Spanish West Florida for a few years.
The galleon will be open every day until May 7th from 10 a.m. until mid-afternoon. Costs $10 to climb aboard and experience a trip back in time. After the break on ABC 31 News, President Trump calls Russian President Putin today, as many are criticizing the president's recent comments on other foreign leaders. Plus, the South Carolina police officer who fatally shot Walter Scott in 2015 takes a plea deal. Details next.
Extra, extra, read all about it. We're celebrating the summer with the best backyard barbecue in history. Michael and Mario are firing up the grill and making a smoky, mouth-watering meal that's really cooking. So be there or be square on The Chew.
The Chew, the best backyard barbecue in history. Airs Sunday at 5:30 on KLAX TV. Brought to you by Town & Country Meats, the best meat you'll ever eat.
A bipartisan deal that appeared to be a compromise on Capitol Hill has led to animosity between Democrats and the White House. Meanwhile, the fight over health care reform is once again ramping up for lawmakers. ABC's Janae Norman is in Washington, tracking the latest.
Democrats didn't win. President Trump did by out-negotiating them. That's the message from Budget Director Mick Mulvaney about the bipartisan spending bill to keep the government funded through September.
They were desperate to make this administration look like we couldn't function, like we couldn't govern. And we know that a large part of their base, especially their left-wing base, wanted a shutdown and certainly didn't want them to cut a deal with us.
The more than $1 trillion spending measure doesn't include cuts to Planned Parenthood or sanctuary cities, nor does it include funding for the president's proposed border wall or the president's proposed cuts to agencies like the EPA. Still, Mulvaney insists Trump won.
The president delivered on his promises and got his priorities funded. They want you to think they won. What they don't want you to know is the American people won here because the president simply out-negotiated them.
We felt that it was a bipartisan negotiation. As I said, the leaders, Democrat and Republican, House and Senate, work well together, and why ruin that?
And the fixation on scoring a Trump victory isn't over.
How's health care coming, folks? How's it doing? All right, we're moving along.
The president hasn't gotten any major legislative win, but hopes to change that this week with a vote on the GOP's amended plan to repeal and replace Obamacare.
We're excited about this policy. We're making very good progress with our members, and our president has been instrumental in that.
Vice President Pence was on Capitol Hill today meeting with moderate Republicans on health care. House GOP would like to see a vote before Congress leaves town Friday, but they still need more support. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
Drivers could be paying a little more at the gas pump. President Trump says he's open to the idea of raising the federal tax on gas. In an interview with Bloomberg News, he said that extra money could be used to fix the country's roads and bridges, part of his plan to create jobs. Now to dramatic developments in a racially charged case that put policing in the spotlight. Former South Carolina cop Michael Slager pleads guilty in federal court in the 2015 shooting death of Walter Scott. ABC's Ariel Reshef is following the story from New York.
This chilling video sparking a nationwide outcry in 2015. Walter Scott seen running from then South Carolina officer Michael Slager after a traffic stop. The white cop shooting the 51-year-old unarmed black man multiple times from more than a dozen feet away, killing him. For nearly 2 years since, Slager has claimed he opened fire in self-defense.
I fired until the threat was stopped, like I'm trying to do.
A jury unable to reach a verdict in the South Carolina murder and manslaughter case against Slager, leading to a mistrial.
Yanks on it with both hands.
But a major reversal from the 35-year-old ex-officer, pleading guilty to willfully using deadly force on Walter Scott, even though it was objectively unreasonable under the circumstances.
My hope is that accountability for Michael Slager is going to mean that fewer officers die, that fewer civilians die, and that we move forward together as a nation, as a community.
The families of Slager and Scott weeping in the courtroom.
Today is a day of victory for Walter. We got justice.
Federal prosecutors opting not to speak publicly about this plea deal. Slager was led away from the hearing in handcuffs. Ariel Reshef, ABC News, New York.
Some wet weather could be on the way, huh?
Yeah, we got a slow-moving cold front moving in for tomorrow, and I think that's going to bring us a round of heavy rain for a couple of hours at least. At least we get to tonight. We'll have nice and clear conditions out there, just a few clouds, temperatures dropping down to around 50. Have more coming up.
Enter to win a $200 gift card to Dickens & Company, courtesy of KLAX TV. Visit us online on Facebook or Twitter and click register and get ready to win. Enter daily and share the post to increase your chances of winning. It's time to win from KLAX TV and Dickens & Company on Front Street, downtown Natchitoches.
I'm meteorologist Ross Whitley looking at the flash flood watches and flood warnings throughout the area at the current moment, and this is all in preparing for tomorrow's thunderstorms that we will be seeing as we get into the afternoon and evening. The National Weather Service has issued flash flood watches all across our area and some flood warnings thanks to rain that has fallen to our north and now is coming down through the river systems toward the Gulf of Mexico. And of course, we're going to watch those storms very closely as we go throughout the day. Tomorrow, we'll have a few afternoon thunderstorms that could be severe before we get to a line segment of storms that will be moving in. And that's really the main threat, will be a damaging wind event and heavy rain event. I think anything else is pretty much out of the question. We might have a very small isolated tornado threat with the cells that develop ahead of that line segment, and then that line segment that will come through will be slow moving, and that's the reason why we're going to be watching out for a flash flood event with that heavy rain. Currently in temperatures 83 degrees and sunny out there, a little more humid than where we were yesterday, with the dew point rising up to around 53 degrees for our dew point right now. The wind out of the southeast at 10 miles per hour. As we look elsewhere, temperatures across the region, Baton Rouge at 85, Lafayette at 83, and Lake Charles at 81. Now moving forward to our surface map, we have where we're going to have a low pressure system off to our north and west tomorrow. Now the models are kind of in disagreement about timing of this, but they're in agreement about what is going to happen. So be on the lookout from about, say, mid-morning to afternoon hours, even into the late night hours, until that cold front finally sweeps on through, moving throughout our area. Futurecast here have the NAM forecasted, and it's a little more progressive than the other models, putting this system in to our area by about mid-afternoon tomorrow. But you notice these thunderstorms that pop out in front of this line segment that eventually sweeps on through our area. Those are the thunderstorms we'll be watching for potentially other hazards and not just damaging wind, but maybe an isolated tornado threat and a large hail threat as well. But the main concern with the storms tomorrow is definitely going to be the flooding rain. Looking at our daily planner, by about noon to mid-afternoon is when we should start to see some scattered storms popping up. Probably won't get that line in until about late evening tomorrow into tomorrow night. I think that's the best guess of when that line is going to move through. After we get that cold front out of the area for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, can't complain about that weather. So we just got to make it through one nasty day this week, and then we get some nice weather on the way for the rest of the week and headed into the weekend. Temperatures finally rebounding back up into the 80s by Sunday. That's a look at your weather. Scott?
All right, thank you, Ross. College campuses around the nation have their own law enforcement teams to ensure the safety of students. ABC 31's Shar Thomas speaks with a local campus officer at LSU of Alexandria about campus safety.
Your local security named Louisiana State University of Alexandria the safest campus in Louisiana. The Chief of Police, Dwayne Rogers, gave me the inside scoop on how campus police keep students safe, and here's what he had to say.
We here at LSU have a fairly close-knit community where people watch out for each other, and also we encourage them, which they do. We encourage our students, faculty, and staff to, if they see something, to report it and let us check it out.
Department on LSUA's campus goes above and beyond to protect the students from danger. Chief Rogers went into detail about the procedures that are taken.
Run across somebody that is possessing or using it, we can handle it from two different ways. We can handle it from a criminal matter. At the university, there are actually two different investigations that would take place when a reported sexual assault comes into the office, and a lot of it depends upon the victim of that, which method that they would like to choose. We certainly would want to investigate that from a criminal matter.
Administration is very supportive of the campus police department, and they have supplied the officers with equipment. The campus police department was able to add 2 new officers to the force to protect the college campus. The administration at LSUA believes in safety of the students and invests in their campus police department, which is why they are named safest campus in Louisiana.
Shar Thomas, ABC 31 News.
We weren't in competition.
It's one of the hot new diet regimens, but does intermittent fasting really work? New research could have you thinking twice. With more, here's Kenneth Moten.
Would you go on a fast every other day to lose weight? It's a fad that has many Americans skipping meals these days, and proponents say it's a surefire path to losing the pounds. But a new study suggests this approach may not live up to the hype. Researchers at the University of Illinois Chicago looked at a group of 100 healthy obese adults to see the effects that fasting every other day had on their health. They put these subjects on a regimen that had them consuming only 25% of their usual calories every other day. Each one of these fasting days followed by a feast day during which they could eat as much as they wanted. What they found, this group did not lose any more weight than adults who simply limited their calories daily. There was also no difference in blood pressure, heart rate, blood sugar control, or markers for inflammation between the two groups. Bottom line, if you're trying to lose weight, skip the fast. Moderation may be the better bet in the long run.
Coming up in sports, find out which NSU baseball player had a career week and was awarded for it. And we'll show you the team's summer camp schedule that was released today.
Here comes Mother's Day, and we want you to win a $200 gift card to Natchitoches Pecans. Just visit us online, on Facebook or Twitter. Click, register, and get ready to win. Enter daily through May 9th. It's time to win from Natchitoches Pecans and KLAX ABC 31.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Charlie Lapastora. With summer right around the corner, NSU baseball is getting ready after setting dates for 3 summer camps. We'll have a couple Super 60 prospect camps and a 3-day summer youth camp. You can find out more info about these camps on your screen now. NSU Hoops is getting a 2-time Arkansas All-State combo guard in Czar Perry as he has signed to play at NSU. Perry set records at his high school for scoring, assists, and steals. And congrats to Cade Jones, who's earned LSWA Player of the Week after having the biggest statistical week of his career. He extended his career-long hitting streak to 8 games and had 7 extra base hits in 5 games last week. Baltimore Orioles outfielder Adam Jones says fans at Fenway Park used racially charged taunts during Monday night's game against the Red Sox. Jones told USA Today's Bob Nightingale after the game that a fan threw peanuts at him and that he was, quote, called the N-word a handful of times, end quote. He went on to say it wasn't the first time he's heard the slur at Fenway and called the situation unfortunate. According to reports, the fan who threw the peanuts at Jones was ejected, and this morning Red Sox president Sam Kennedy issued a public apology to Jones and the Orioles, saying in part that the, quote, entire organization and our fans are sickened by the conduct of an ignorant few, end quote. Jones called for harsher punishments, saying fans found guilty of throwing objects at players should also be subject to a fine or be banned from the ballpark. The Orioles ended up winning and play again at Fenway tonight in a 4-game series.
And just things like this, they just don't have a place in the game. I mean, I thought we moved past that a long time ago, but obviously with what's going on in the real world, things like this, people are outraged and speaking up at an alarming rate, and it's unfortunate that I had to be involved with it.
Yeah, I think stricter policies at the stadiums to give the ushers a little more power in order to enforce that type of thing. Because again, people pay good money to come in and watch these games, and so to have to put up with that from abusive fans, it's not good for the game at all.
Well, catching a ball while at a ball game is something fans dream of. In this case, at Monday night's Marlins-Rays game, there was determination to get that game ball by diving into a pool behind the left field wall in Miami. Fans jumped into the water to race for that home run ball that landed in the pool. That's definitely determination right there. And another funny moment at a pro sports game Monday night, it was LeBron James in the 3rd quarter. After he got fouled, he finds an employee at Quicken Loans Arena serving what it looks to be a bottle of beer and pretends to take a sip. Just another casual moment in the playoffs for the Cavs as they win Game 1 over the Raptors.
Yeah, probably in most cases, coach isn't really going to let you have a cold one during the middle of the game. It's
maybe some cold Gatorade or H2O.
Oh, yeah,
but
you're good there.
Yeah, take a beer after the game or something.
Thanks, Joey.
No problem.
A classic table game becomes life-sized, where people gathered for a game of human foosball when we come back.
So if it wasn't you, who killed Michael Jackson?
This May on The Dr. Oz Show.
I just know there was a doctor in the house treating him, and he ends up dead.
Gone too soon. What really happened to your favorite stars? Oz investigates. Fast food packaging alert.
Do these chemicals leach into your food and into your body?
Plus, Monday Dieter. Plans and detoxes to get you back on track by summer. All May on Oz.
Watch Dr. Oz weekdays at 11 on KLAX TV.
The players became the game pieces during an interesting event in Virginia. Folks in Charlottesville taking part in the 3rd annual Human Foosball Tournament. Tubes are set up inside the sports court, handled by humans who use their own fancy footwork and bodies to participate in the game. And more than 100 people got a chance to play. That does look like a lot of fun, doesn't it?
Yeah. Looks like a heck of a lot of fun. I think my apartment complex needs to put one of those up in like a recreational area.
Yeah. That is a lot of work to put one of those together, though, too.
No, it just, man, it looks like an indoor soccer, and just all you need is the 2x4s going across.
Mm-hmm. Well, does look like a lot of fun. Make that, I'll be over playing some foosball.
We will put you in charge of that, Ross.
Yeah. Okay. We can get a company thing going.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, have a great night. Thanks for watching ABC 31 News.
KLAX is the exclusive provider of ABC and MeTV programming here in Central Louisiana. We're the only station where you can watch new ABC programs like Dancing with the Stars, Designated Survivor, and Grey's Anatomy, just to name a few.
That's what family does. We take care of each other.
I'm proud of you. The warmth of your love.
And if classic TV programs like Bonanza, Andy Griffin, Batman, or Carol Burnett is more your style, then MeTV's the station for you. As an advertiser, you'll want your products and services presented to these loyal viewers. Our sales team is equipped to prove we can generate new customers and new revenue for your business.
I'll tell you what, it pays to advertise.
And we have a number of low-risk advertising programs designed to prove we work. Call our media consultant team today for a no-risk assessment on how we can help you grow your business. We're ready to prove we work.
Rod Serling created The Twilight Zone in 1959. Serling frequently used the show's premise of ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances to examine real-world issues such as censorship.
You are obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
Racism.
It's important to get with the majority, isn't it?
And war.
How many men have to die before you're satisfied?
These stories, submitted for your approval, can only be found in The Twilight Zone.
Watch MeTV Alexandria over the air on Channel 31.2.